Hello and welcome to Math 142 Online. I'm David Lippman and I'll be your instructor this quarter. So this video is going to introduce you to how the class works and help orient you to WAMAP so that you can get started right away. So the first thing you're going to want to do after you log in is click your name in the upper right hand corner and make sure that that email address is correct, because that's how I'm going to try to get a hold of you if I can't get you on WAMAP. Secondly, if you've been traveling recently, scroll down and make sure that this is showing America Los Angeles time zone, in other words, Pacific time. If not, you might want to check your computer's time zone because if you're, for example, set for Tokyo time, then your due dates are not going to display correctly. All right, so let's click into the course and see what we're going to be doing. So to get started, you're going to, as the title implies, click the Do This First link, which you've probably already done since you're watching this video. So next, you're going to want to go down and click on the syllabus and quiz. And so this is the course syllabus. This will have all the course policies and how everything's going to work. And there's a quiz embedded in it so that you can, to make sure that you're understanding the syllabus and have read through it. Once you finish that, go down to the autobiographies and click Add New Thread to post up a little bit about yourself. So you could say like about David and talk a little bit about what degree are you pursuing, what do you like to do in your free time, a little bit so that I and your classmates can get to know you a little bit. And once you finish that, click Post Thread to post it up into the forum. So the next assignment to go through, or the next thing to work on, is the Intro to WAMAP assignment. Now this is mainly designed if you haven't used WAMAP before. If you already have in previous classes, this will be a little redundant. WAMAP, if you've never used it, is a little different than, say, Canvas because it's designed for math, and so some of the question types are different. And so this assignment will help you understand how to enter answers and how to make sure that WAMAP understands you and things like that. So once you've gone through all that, you can click back to the main course page. In the course information folder, you'll find a link to the entire book. The book is available online for free, and you can download it and put it on an iPad or other e-reader device if you want to. There's also copies available in the bookstore or online if you prefer a physical hard copy book. While I won't be assigning any problems out of the book, there is a solutions manual available for the book problems if you're the kind of person who likes to do extra work. Also in this folder, you'll find information on how to contact me and a place where you can ask questions about the course policies if you have any. But let's go ahead and click into week 1 to see how this is all going to work. So at the top of the week is a discussion forum. So this is a place where you can ask questions about either the concepts of the week or about individual homework questions. After that, you're going to find a little thing about sort of the super important topics of the week. So while, of course, everything is important, these are the things that you're going to really want to make sure that you understand by the end of the week. After that, you're going to find somewhere between 2 or 3 sections of material each week. Go ahead and click on it to open it up. And so for each section, you're typically going to see these 3 things. First, you're going to see a link to the book. Again, if you have the physical book or the entire thing downloaded, you don't need this, but this is a link to the specific section of the text that we're working on. And so like any book, you're going to want to read through this. Trig is different than, say, 141 from Pre-Calculus 1 in that it's not algebra. It's not an extension of the algebra you've done before. So there's going to be a lot of new concepts in this class. And so just trying to work through the homework, like trying to figure out the individual procedures, is not going to be a very effective way to work through this class. You really are going to need to read the book to try to understand the big ideas behind trig. So make sure you read through the book. And then to supplement that, there are, for each section, a set of overview videos. Now, these are different than the videos that will be in the homework. The homework videos focus more on individual procedures, how to do one problem. These videos are more like what I would normally do in a lecture. They're more big picture, big idea videos meant to complement the textbook. So particularly if you're the kind of person who just likes to skim the book, I really recommend you watch these. Ideally, you should read the book and watch these. You can always click the little plus sign there to just embed the video directly in the page. Makes it a little easier than clicking over to YouTube. So once you've read the book and watched the videos, then you can pop open the homework assignment. And the way WAMAP homework works, if you haven't used it before, is you'll put in your answer, and most of the questions will allow 2 attempts. So you do the question. If you get it wrong, maybe you see if you can fix. You say, "Oh, did I forget a negative? Did I make a calculational error?" If you miss it again, it's going to show you what the answer is. And sometimes, kind of like looking in the back of the book, sometimes that can be enough to help you figure out how to do the problem. At this point, you can click the Try Another Similar Question link to generate a new version of the question. And you can keep doing this as much as necessary, so there's no reason you can't get 100% on the homework. And if you think that you need more practice, you can ask for new versions even if you get a question right, and it'll remember that you got it right at least once. Now, if you're still having difficulty, most of the questions are going to have these video buttons, and if you click that, it'll open up a video that is fairly specific to that question. So it's going to cover the same concepts or procedures necessary to do that question. And so this can be a great way to help you figure out how to apply the concepts to a specific problem. So you can watch the video. Now, if you're still having trouble after watching the video, then you can take advantage of this Post This Question to Forum link. Now, if you click this, it's going to take the question and put it in as a post to the Week 1 discussion forum. Now, I really beg you, don't just click Post Thread, or don't type here, "I don't get how to do this," and click Post Thread. Particularly if a question has a video, I'm not going to know what you're having trouble with. I'm not going to know why you're asking for help. So if there was a video, maybe say, "Hey, in the video, I didn't understand what he was doing, 2 minutes in where he, squared the 10," or something like that. Something so that I can understand why you're still having trouble with the question after watching the video. Alternatively, if you've been working on the problem and got it wrong, maybe show the work that you've done and the answer that you put in and say, "Hey, I can't figure out why I'm getting this wrong." And then by looking at your work, I can give you very specific, targeted help to help you figure out how to correct your mistakes. And so that way, by being really specific when you post about questions, I can be more helpful to you to help you understand what's going wrong and what you need help with. Okay, so try to be as specific as possible when you post up questions. Now, in terms of putting in answers, again, there is the Intro to WAMAP assignment, which will show you how to enter your answers. But just very briefly, there's 2 basic ways to enter answers. One is using what's called calculator style notation. So you just type it out by hand. And that can work really well for sort of simple things to type. But if you don't like that, most of the time you're going to want to use this little yellow up arrow here. So if you click that, it opens up MathQuill, which is the equation editor. And this is a very handy way to enter things like fractions, powers, particularly things like square roots, which are kind of hard to type out by hand. A nice handy way to enter answers, and it will give you shortcuts for a lot of the trig functions that we're going to be using as well. And you just use the equation editor, hit save, and it will enter it in the usual calculator notation, and then you can submit your answer. Alright, so once you go through the homework, so you'll, again, read the book, watch the video, do the homework, and then repeat for the next section. And then once you've gone through each of the homeworks, at the end of the week, you will take a quiz. Now, the quiz is timed. It's a 90-minute quiz. It should only actually take you about 45. The time limit is not meant to put a bunch of time pressure on you. It's mainly meant to make sure that you do it in one sitting. The timer does not pause if you leave the quiz, so make sure you actually have 90 minutes from when you first start it. The quizzes are also meant to make sure that you understand how to do the problems after practicing. So the quizzes aren't going to have that try similar problem option. You will have a few tries at each problem with a bit of a penalty if you miss it. So if you do miss a problem, you can go back and say, oh shoot, I forgot a negative, or oops, I made a calculational error, and correct it. But you won't be able to say, oh, just give me another one. All right, now I will say at the end of the quiz, if there's a problem that you really think that you were on the right track for, but just couldn't get it right, please feel free to either email me or send me a message with the work you did on that problem. As in, like, take a picture with your cell phone camera, digital camera of the work that you did on paper and send it to me. Now, don't send me corrections. I won't consider those, but if you send me the work that you did while you were taking the quiz, I'm happy to consider it for partial credit if you were on the right track. So lastly, the final assignment for the week is going to be a show your work assignment. Now, the purpose of this assignment is really to help you prepare for the final, because the final is going to be proctored paper and pencil test, where I'm going to expect to see all your work, and I want to make sure that you know how to do the problems using the techniques that were taught in the class. Not that you know how to use your calculator to solve the problem, not that you know how to use some website to solve the problem, but that you know how to do it using the techniques that we've learned. And so the show your work assignments are going to be a way to practice that. And so these questions are going to look very similar to the homework and quiz problems, but instead of typing in an answer online, you're going to need to write out your work on paper, take a picture of it with a cell phone camera, digital camera, scanner, whatever works, and send me the work. Now it's going to show a 0 initially when you submit it because I'm going to have to manually grade these. Don't worry, you'll receive at least a point, so if you see a 0, it means I haven't graded it yet. And I'll always give you feedback on these. And so this is a great way for you to see if the work that you're doing is sufficient and appropriate. So make sure you look at the feedback. It'll show up in the gradebook. Make sure you look at the feedback that I give you on these to make sure that you're showing appropriate work. This is my way of giving you feedback in advance so that you're not surprised on the final to find out that you were supposed to show work. All right, and that is the end of the week. And that's the way the course will work. Each week you'll have again 2 or 3 sections of book video homework, followed by quiz and show your work. About halfway through the class there'll be an unproctored online midterm in the same format as the show your work assignments, and then at the end of the class there'll be the proctored on-campus final. Now, something that can help you keep track of what's going on in the course is the calendar. If you click that, it will show you when all of the assignments are due. Now, normally I'll have things spread out throughout the week. I tend to end load the first week because of people adding late. And so you'll see, for example, on Tuesday that the biographies assignment is due, as well as section 5.2 and the quiz and the show your work. Now, if you don't even start section 5.2 until Tuesday, you're going to have a really bad day, because that is a lot to take in one day and still get through all those assignments. So please, please, please do not consider the due date as the date that you should start the assignment. You should be starting 5.2 back here on Thursday or Friday. You should be reading the book on maybe Friday, and then on Saturday and Sunday starting on the homework. If you get stuck, asking questions in the forum, and that way I have time to answer your questions, because if you start all the assignments at the last minute, I'm not going to have time to answer your questions before the assignments due. So please, please, please start your assignments early. The biggest cause of students not being successful in online math classes is them starting assignments at the last minute. So don't be one of those people. Start your assignments early. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get the help that you need, particularly in this class. For a lot of you, this is going to be the first time that you've seen the material in this class. It's unlikely that you've done all of the trig stuff before. which is a little different than 141. In 141, some of it was probably familiar or was building on stuff that you'd learned before, or was a repeat of something that you've learned before. Most of this class is going to be new for a lot of you. You're going to need more time to take it all in and to process it and understand it. So please, please, please start your assignments as early as possible. The last thing I want to mention is the gradebook. Over here on the left, you can click into the gradebook. This will show all the assignments and the grade that you've earned on them. And the weighted total in the past due column is the one that's going to be most useful to you. That's the one that most accurately reflects your current grade in the class. This one over here includes assignments that aren't due yet also. So this is the one that's going to be most useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them up in one of the forums, or you can send me a message if it's a more personal issue or question. I'm looking forward to a great quarter together. Again, start your assignments as early as possible, and please ask for help if you get stuck. That's what I'm here for, and I really want to help you be successful in this class.